Yeah, so welcome everyone. We're just gonna go ahead and start it off. Welcome to our Ladies of Sound community chats. We hold this space to connect, support, and celebrate each other and share stories and knowledge with the amazing women in our industry. And we are really excited today to have our special guest. But before we do that, everybody that's been here before, you already know the drill. Just got to go over the house rules. But for everybody joining us that's new to our community chats, we just have some, little tidbits to go over before we jump right in. So our house rules consist of, if you can please make sure that you are on mute when you are not speaking, just so we can hear the guest speak. It doesn't have all the outside noises. For your viewing experience, if you click on the top right, 3 dots here, you can click on Do Not Show Video. So if you decide to do gallery view, you'll just see all the video participants. It should be on there. I know Zoom's kind of funny. And please don't be shy. When we are talking, you can please chime in at anything that speaks to you, or if you want to just chat in the, please go ahead and engage with the community, but please keep it kind and positive. I'm fobbing out here. When the Q&A begins, please either click raise your hand or type a 1 in the chat if you have a question. We're going to answer the questions in chronological order. We would love for you to ask, a question directly to our guest yourself. So once either myself or Sammy G ask you to hit unmute, please go ahead and unmute yourself. And again, you don't have to say, ask a question. You can just say hello. But all right, so you guys already know, again, Ladies of Sound Community Chat, my name is Maricel. I'm the principal at the Beat Junkie Institute of Sound and the Ladies of Sound founder. My co-host today is Sammy G, Maji. She's a DJ and also the marketing whiz over at the Beat Junkie Institute of Sound, and my Ladies of Sound co-founder. But today we're super excited. Yes, say hello, Sammy G.
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for being here today, spending the time with us on our Tuesdays.
Yes. We're closing out our community chat with this very special guest. As you guys can see here on the screen, we have Sasha Marie. Say hello, Sasha.
Hello. Hello, everyone. This is my first online sort of community chat, so I'm like,
yeah.
I actually don't use Zoom that much, so I'm trying to figure it out, but.
Well, you're here with us, and thank you so much for your time. Everyone's super excited to hear from you, especially because, gigs haven't really been happening. We've been seeing you online, so it's great to kind of take a moment, stop, drink. As per request from our special guest, Sasha, today, I hope everyone has a glass of wine.
Water's cool too.
Water. But thank you so much for being here today. We just wanted to get into it. Sasha, you are part of Selection. You are part of Have a Nice Day Worldwide in San Diego. And you even have your radio show. So we're going to get into that. But pretty much, tell us pretty much how everything started out for you, even just music-wise. Has it always been the route you've done in terms of DJing, or has there been a first love in terms of music prior to DJing?
Let's see. Okay, let's start at the very beginning. It was a cold afternoon on December 28th, 1990, when Sasha Marie was born. My love of music stems from my pops, honestly. He still has, because I have it now, a huge record collection that I wish I could show you guys. It's behind me, but you can't see it in this view. He's always been like a huge record collector. He was a sanitation man. So when he'd pick up trash, he'd always say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. You feel me? So he'd pick up and find like records and whatnot, and plus collect his own. And as I grew up, with him, he'd always be playing his records in his garage, and I would just be like constantly going through them and just like getting acquainted with like mostly like oldies and 80s and funk and stuff like that. And I feel like that's where my love of music kind of blossomed. And I was a really quiet kid. I felt very awkward growing up. I always felt like, oh, like I just didn't belong. And I had a hard time in school. I got bullied a lot. And I just kind of like, I turned to music, really. I spent a lot of time by myself on the internet, going and finding music and just scouring the web for stuff. And then also listening to these records my dad would bring home. And then I like would play on my old computer on GarageBand and like try to make beats, like really terrible beats. I remember when I was like super inspired by Odd Future, and I would like try, I'd even like try to like rap and like
Makes the sounds.
yeah, and like just like do some Tyler Creator stuff, you know? So I was always like exploring, and I was always exploring by myself, you know? And then I would like beg my dad. I was like, Dad, I want to DJ so bad. Like, can you help me? Can you help me get something? And he bought me like a battle pack. I think that's what they were called at like Guitar Center. And now I'm just kind of like, I'm going from like being really young to listening music and being very influenced by the music that my dad listened to, and the fact that there's like a lot of oldies. Sorry, now I'm going all over the place because it's like, it's so much, you know, there's so much that happened in between like being really young and being involved with music just by listening to making that jump to wanting to do something about it. So yeah, so when I was like, I think I was like 18, that's when I had asked my dad for money to get equipment. And yeah, he bought me the battle pack, and it was 2 super cheap turntables and a mixer. And I was so bad. Like it was like the worst thing ever. And I had my best friend at the time was like, yo, I actually have a gig for you. And the gig ended up being at Gossip Grill. Like, so in San Diego, which is where I'm from, and Hillcrest, which is like the gay community of San Diego, there is this restaurant bar called Gossip Grill. And I wasn't even of age yet, but Mo, the owner, was like, you know what, let's give you a shot, you know? And actually I didn't tell my dad, because let's rewind. I'm also gay as fuck. And I kept it a secret from my dad. So I felt I had like this like private life, you know? And like everything that would happen in this private life, like my friends and stuff like that, and Gossip Grill, like I just kept that on the hush because I didn't want to be questioned. So I would like sneak out and say like, hey, I'm practicing at a friend's house. And I'd bring like that big old crate, and I would set up at Gossip Grill and play. And it was just so bad. It was bad.
Did you have anyone at the time that you knew was DJing? Did someone help you, or you really just learned everything on your own on YouTube?
I learned it myself, honestly. Like, that's why I'm just really saying here how bad it was. Like, I remember, you know, I had my own idea, which I know now we're kind of jumping into like my first gigs. I had my own idea of like what I wanted to play. And I remember playing like an Erykah Badu edit, and like the manager came up to me and was like, honey, that's not our vibe, you know? So I was just like, first off, I was like, damn, my music selection is not working, and I can't spin, you know? So it was a bit of a process, because then at that point, I was starting to I had to go in a different direction, like Katy Perry type shit direction, you feel me? And it sucked, but the fact that I could still practice and DJ was what made me happy, you know? And that didn't last forever. And we'll get to it, but how Have a Nice Day happened. But yeah, that was the beginning of that. And being there was very helpful because I got to deal with really mean people who told me how much I sucked. And then I got to deal with people who were like, you're so great, you know, type stuff. And then, but it also gave me a platform for people to be like, what, you know, what is this song? Or, oh, you know, I slowly progressed. And then from there, I met Andre, which was in like 2011, 2012. And that's how I got introduced to Selection. So I feel like if it wasn't for me having that gig and him like randomly being there, even though we were in the same community, like I may have not connected with him, you know?
So that's super important. It's cool. One of our girls here, Jordan, she said in the chat, this is really helping with my self-doubt. What gave you the courage to keep going? You know, if you were having the insecurity of you know, not being the best DJ or I know that like when a manager comes up to you or a promoter and tells you to switch to the music right then and there, it's nerve-wracking for any DJ. What gave you the courage to say like, oh, I'm gonna keep doing this, even if I am hiding it in my second life, or even if people are telling me that I wasn't the greatest DJ? Like, what kept you going?
I don't know, like I just kind of felt like my soul or like my heart knew that I had to keep doing this, you know, that eventually this moment in my life would pay off. You feel me? Because even though I was maybe playing the music that I didn't like at Gossip Grill, I was going home and I was playing the music that I did like, that I knew eventually people would relate to. And which brings me to my mixes. I started creating mixes and putting them out on SoundCloud. I want to say 2011, maybe. So in 2011, my whole life just got turned upside down. I lost both of my parents within a month of each other. And it was like the craziest time in my life, you know? And I felt really alienated and disconnected from my family because I wasn't really that close to them in general. And the people that I had in my life were some of friends who are family, who are still, you know, my friends and family to this day. And they were the people that kind of like held me up throughout all of that. And music, it just, I don't know if it's like me being, you know, Mexican and growing up in a machismo household and just like my emotions and just not really being able to express them. I can express them now, but back then when I'm, you know, 20 years old, but it was really difficult for me to let out and just be free and really express my emotions on a verbal level to people. So I really kind of dived into music even more and started creating like these mixes that, you know, I'm using other people's music, but it's like piecing them together and like telling a story. Because for me, maybe it's difficult for me to articulate how I feel and like how I look at the world. But I feel that I can find music or I listen to music and it explains it for me. And like, I don't have to speak, you know? And that makes me happy. So I would start putting out these mixes based off what I was feeling at the time, or, you know, what was going on in my life. And on top of meeting Andre within the San Diego community, it also caught Joe K's attention. I think the mix that I'm referring to, because I remember he like commented on it, was like After Her. And it was like based on like a really bad breakup. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But that's how I expressed myself. And I think that it was really cool that because I put myself out there on SoundCloud and, you know, I was putting out these mixes, I didn't know who the hell was listening to them. You know what I mean? You don't know. You make art, you make it to release, and then if you put it out there, cool, you just kind of let it go. It's not yours anymore. You know what I'm saying? And so Joe listened to it, and then that was also just like something else, you know, on top of the fact of me knowing Andre, which got me into selection, you know? So yeah, that part.
No, that's really amazing to hear. You know, you've gone through a lot of adversity and, you know, even through your first gig and it being not wait, you know, just having things happen that aren't expected, that you're just able to just push through. And I love how you said that, you know, I put my heart and soul into something and then I put it out in the world and I let it go. I think that's really, really something that we need to hear, especially for our community, especially as DJs, because you know, I mean, I think as artists in general, because that's when you can really, you know, think too hard, overthink it and not let it go. And the fact that you say that, you know, I can be critical about myself. If I, for example, take a photo and I'm like, oh, I don't know, I don't want everybody to see it. I don't need the criticism and all of this. When you say that, it's like, that's such a good thing to hear again, because especially as DJs, you know, that's something, again, you can be really critical for yourself into just putting something out like a mix, and you know, nobody will get to hear it, but I love that you say now it's not yours anymore. It's for everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think that when we get super critical with ourselves, which I swear I'm critical with myself 24/7, especially with our craft, we have to remember, like, why did we start? I know you need to be able to pinpoint that. For me, it was to release emotions. And because it was fun. It's fun. Music is fun, you know, and it's beautiful.
So after meeting Andre and then also now Joe's in your life, how did that all culminate into your journey into as part of selection in the community?
So that's when things started getting really fun, right? Because selection is something else. Selection, I mean, I was able to really play the music that I wanted to play, and that's all I really wanted, you know? And on top of that, the people in selection became family to me, and they still are. And we've gone through so many changes, from 2011, 2012, so many changes, but that's when things really started for me, because obviously, you know, they have a platform and it elevated my work, you know? So then I started gigging more, and it was the same just with gossip, being nervous, not really knowing, not being that good with my equipment, which, by the way, if we want to talk about equipment, I had switched when I was playing at Gossip Girl to, gosh, I don't know, I don't even remember the brand, but it was like this big old controller, like huge controller that I would lug in because I had to bring my own equipment. So which started my journey with controllers. So anyways, I'm in selection now, and I'm trying to think, I think there's a photo in there, but I'm actually not sure if it's in there, but it's us. Oh yeah, South by Southwest. I don't even remember what year that was, but it was a hot minute ago. We all look like babies. Look at Joe. Look at Joe in his SoundCloud shirt.
Funny, we have Chronica there, which we actually, yeah.
Dang, so like honestly, like this group, like we're all growing up together. Selection, not just selection, but like how I was able to express myself with my work being elevated. It was just a way for me to start, you know, I started traveling the world, you know, and meeting all these amazing people and learning what kind of DJ I was, and, you know, how to read a room and all these things. What are we in, 2020? So yeah, it's been a journey, and I feel really grateful to be a part of a group that constantly like inspires me, you know, and to be able to call those people family. But yeah, I got to go to Europe, South Africa, Canada. These are all places that the music took me, you know? And I got to do it with my friends, which is even better, really, at the end of the day. Like, when we went to South Africa in 2018, and it was like literally everyone from Selection, that was a dream come true. And most of us had never been there before. So being able to do what you love and then be with your friends, it's just like a lethal combination, you know?
Yeah. They say, you know, you're the average of the top 5 people that you keep around you. So I'm sure now that you part of this crew, you kind of got your bars up, your DJ bars up. And yeah, we always say that, especially because, you know, with the junkies too, the beat junkies, they were all friends, and they just started DJing together and really kind of just, you know, exchanged ideas, exchanged energy. How just being in in a crew and having that mentality did it do for your actual like DJing, in terms of how you were digging for music and how you were starting to play, and maybe even now you're having different opportunities to play on different equipment? Like, how did that go specifically?
Yeah, I feel like all of us had different equipment in terms of that. And I was always interested in being able to be on the turntables, but yo, bro, I just suck bad. And I felt like, you know, I don't think, you know, I'm 29 now, and I don't think until I was like 28 that I started to become confident in myself, like with myself, with equipment. And I'm not saying that I sucked the whole way through, but it's just like an anxiety that I'm sure that maybe you guys can relate to on stage. You know what I mean? And then also being a woman in the industry, just that already you're being judged like 10 times more, you know? So in terms of equipment, I mean, it was helpful that the people around me were always like, because I used to be really nervous about that, you know? But I felt that my not my expertise, but something that I was good at was like reading a room, and I felt that my library was like fire. I didn't get on CDJs, which I love more than anything in the world, until 2019, I think. So it's like, I really did this with like, here, let me show you. I make all my mixes, still my radio show. And I did, like, these have been everywhere with me, like all around the world.
You were crazy.
Native instrument guys. Like, I played big ass stages. Like, I opened up for Lauryn Hill with these 2 fucking guys. You feel me? Like, I did that shit. And, you know, I'm really grateful for these guys. I moved on, but I really feel like in terms of equipment and what you use, I think it's just like your energy. But not to knock, like we were talking about, like I have a different level of respect, you know, for, you know, you, Sammy, and shit. Like, I've seen you on tables and whatnot. Like, it's a whole different ballpark. Like, you know, I'm not saying that it's a level of respect and something that I can't do, but I'm surely like inspired by it. But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, we always say to the students too, you can learn all that, but at the end of the day, also, it's, yes, reading a room. That's something that you can't necessarily teach. You kind of just have to have it in you. Also, your selection of music, if it even makes sense with where you're playing, or if just the energy fits. And knowledge, just your knowledge and how wide your spectrum is, that can't be taught, right? It's all just about who you are inside and what you like. So And I think that's why you have these cult fans, these fans who are just so about who you are. And you show that even in just your branding, even, you know, like you just show, you embody everything that you put out there.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, I totally love your branding. I love that you when you put your mixes out and you include the playlist, like I was telling you before, I was like, I love it, because even just to touch on what you were saying, that you're saying, what I think is a great point that you're saying, that your passion is there, that's not questionable, but you're like, you know what, my music knowledge and that confidence that you have in it, all of that's gonna show, because touching on what Sam says, it's like we can give you all the skills all day at our school, but the one, like, we can't teach you how to read a room. That's gonna come with experience. We can't teach you music knowledge, because you're gonna have to put in that work to listen to music yourself, and to broaden your spectrum on different genres and artists. So I really love that, you're like, you know what, I know what I can do and what I'm good at, and I'm going to put my passion towards that. And then everything from there is going to keep taking me where it does, on top of having an amazing community of people in your life to lean on, and get better about everything in the aspect of being a DJ.
Yes, I agree.
So tell us about this photo right here. And there's Kayla and Jordan says that they are probably in this crowd. So.
Afro punk. That was a really fun time. Who was performing? I don't remember.
So many shows.
Huh?
You've done so many shows. That's
no, not even like that, but I'm trying to remember. Granted, I love Afropunk so much. Like, it's one of the funnest festivals I've been to. But it's like this stage was where everyone's looking at, and then like our teeny little DJ booth is like to the right of it. So it's like the background music, but good background music, you feel me? So this photo was taken at Afropunk in New York. It was a good time. It was a great festival. I think it might have been the last festival I've been to since COVID. I could be wrong, but yeah, I'm clearly happy.
Did you have any idea, once you got into selection, just the caliber it was going to get? Because now I can even show this one. You guys are on Beats Radio, like you
Look
guys.
how nervous I look up there with a hat on.
Oh no, you look confident. What are you talking about?
Really? Oof, I was definitely shaking in that interview for sure.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Okay, I remember Joe interviewed me for that one. That was cool. I was really nervous. That seems like so long ago, but also a dream, you feel me? I'm trying to remember exactly how I felt during that photo. It was like, okay, so another thing that I want to say is that in 2011, I also developed like extremely debilitating anxiety. I mean, I'm talking about the type of anxiety where it's just like you feel like there's a war inside of yourself and you're fighting to live, because there's just like this overwhelming feeling of always wanting to run and just being constantly nervous. So on top of just this anxiety, this like mad anxiety, and then getting on stage or doing these interviews, I'm like kind of dying inside in that photo a little bit, but like also happy. Does that make sense? Like when you have so much anxiety and it's like scary, but then you're like, I can do this. I can fucking do this. This is so great. But I'm like so anxious and I'm so scared right now, but I'm doing this. Like that was me all up until like 2018. But no, that was a dream, to be doing an interview with Joe and being on Beats. The photo to the right of it is more recent, when I took over, and like look at the difference in confidence, right? You see it? Like I'm smiling. I got my hand on the soundboard, I'm like doing this like I'm hosting Beats One radio show. So like that was the dream, to be in that space and see everyone working and just like listening to my shit and just having full control over this station. It was awesome. It was really cool. Beats One, hire me. I want my own radio station. I need it. Sasha Marie Radio, please.
So what were the steps? So yeah, you're right. These two photos do look different. You could feel the energy between both of them.
Yeah.
Specific things that happened in between that really got you to be more comfortable behind the mic. We talk about that actually a lot in our community chats, about how important it is to be comfortable behind the mic, and how much of a game changer that is when you're an artist and a DJ.
Yeah, I'm terrible still. I really am. My voice will crack. I still suck at it. Maybe that would really help me. Like even now I'm nervous. Like I was nervous and kind of shaking when this started. I honestly don't know if that's going to go away. Maybe that's just like a part of who I am though. It might not ever go away, but I think the important thing is I'm doing it, you know, I'm doing it regardless of what anyone thinks or says, or how high or how low my voice gets, or how many times I tremble or yeah, lose my train of thought. I'm still doing it, you know?
Yeah, we feel the same way, especially with these community chats. Getting used to talking in front of people, public speaking and all that. And especially when you know that the viewership is high and that you're a representation of, you know, your business and your company and your crew. So, but luckily you have the support from all your fans, one, your crew, two, and then what's important that we always talk about, obviously, as Ladies of Sound, is your support from other women as well. So let me actually get to that. And how did you get to the point where you started doing your own events?
Okay, so I love all these girls that make me so happy, because these two women make me extremely happy. Okay, so I know when I touched on gossip, I said that I wasn't able to play the things. Sorry, there's something in my eye. I wasn't able to play the things I really enjoyed, but over time from playing there, which I played there for a good amount of time until I left for maybe a good 2 to 3 years, over time I was able to start sprinkling in things that I liked, okay? So anyways, I'm not in Gossip Girl anymore, right? And then I had this idea, like, especially, I really feel that, well, growing up in the queer community in San Diego, I just felt like there weren't a lot of spaces to go and listen to good music, you know? And that sucks, because I want to go dance, and I know my friends want to as well. And I had this idea. I was like, I wonder if Gossip would let me throw an event if they have any days open. I'm like, I can do this. I think I had a couple of like one-off events under my belt at this point. So then I believe I started the Kickback. Before it was called Have a Nice Day, it was called the Kickback. And I hit up Lou and V, which are these lovely ladies in these photos, Louisa and Vanessa. And I was like, are y'all down? And they were like, yes. So we started the Kickback at Gossip Grill. And I think it started every third Sunday of the month. And we started growing like a following, and it was like really fun, because at Gossip, I love Gossip. I love the people who work at Gossip. I love the owner of Gossip, Mo, but they're just like, it just wasn't diverse. You feel me? Like it didn't feel fun for me and my friends, you know? And I wanted to create a space where everyone could come and just feel welcome, and we could just go ham with the music, because like me, Louisa, and Vanessa, we all like similar things, but we're so different. Like I'll be playing like ballet funk shit while Lou is playing, you know, Megan Thee Stallion, because it's Lou, and then Vanessa's playing some "Do You Believe in Love After Love," you know, type shit. And it's just like, it's just so, I can't sing for the life of me, but it's so different, you know? So it's really cool to start at Gossip and then come back and create our own world there. For me to create something where I'm like, everyone is welcome. And you played it, Sammy. That shit, it gets crazy.
Oh man. See, now I'm just sad because of the whole COVID thing, but hands down, no pun intended, have a nice day, which is hand. Definitely one of the dopest parties I've spun at, and it's been fun. Like it's in San Diego, and I'll drive down there to go to it. Met my boyfriend there. It's been fun. It's been
Connections.
yeah. So
yeah, I miss it so much. I miss the community so much. There was always a new face there, like every third Sunday of the month. It was always different, but it was always good. And I love that good energy, you know?
yeah, it's cool that you were able to make a community that you enjoyed yourself. So you were able to be part of one as selection, and then because of that platform and because of now being able to have the opportunities, you made your own community and did that.
Totally. Thank you. And to do it in my city too, that's what's so important.
Yeah, and you guys have great weather on top of that. So that's why it's so cool that it's outdoors. But yeah, so we just wanted to pretty much wrap it up. I wanted to slide this one in here too, just because, you know, a lot of people also just know you because of your chapters and your mixes. Can you talk about that real quick?
Yes, please. I would really love to touch on this. Okay, so Sasha Marie Radio was born recently. And for me, like, I love pairing sonically pleasing sounds with like visually pleasing images. And I met a really amazing guy a couple years ago named Skylar, who is now my designer, Tin High Design. And he helped me launch Sasha Marie Radio. So he really took, he took my vision and his expertise and listened to my music and started making these images, which I feel like not only are the mixes like really good, but it's like the images just suit it, you know? And Sasha Marie Radio, I love making mixes, and I wanted to do something that was more frequent, and that's why I created it, you know? So it's been a journey. We're on chapter 21. It's every other Sunday of the month. Yes, it's every other Sunday of the month. And yeah, I'm like, you know, it's been growing. It's been growing and growing. And I love being able to consistently be there with people with the music. And also it's like a promise to myself to keep going, to keep digging, to keep finding new artists that I love and pairing these songs together and putting them out to the world, you know, and I'm really excited to see where it takes me.
Yeah, I'm really inspired by your taste visually and how you put that together. I mean, you know, for me, I'm very, you know, I gravitate towards that kind of stuff. So, and I also noticed in a lot of our talks, you know, with some of the girls that we've spoken to, you know, what I'm really starting to put together, that it's really key to, one, have a great photographer as a DJ, have a great photographer that you know, but then two, also having a, you know, finding a relationship with a talented designer, and you know, you guys, you know, collaborating in that way to execute both of your visions, I think is this is a great example of exactly that. I love the panther and the rose. Like when I had seen that, I was like, oh my God, that's so dope. And then that prompted me definitely to just, and then you had include the playlists on top of that, which I love. I think that's so super important to share, you know, the music that you're playing, and I love that you're putting that out there. And again, this is just as a DJ setting a great example of you know, your overall brand is Sasha Marie and Sasha Marie Radio.
Thanks. Yeah, I think packaging is really important. I love packaging. Yeah, I will be sold so easily if something is like minimal and vibrant, and I'm just like, ooh, what is this? And it could be the most obscure thing, and I'm like, the packaging is so great, you know? And so packaging is super important to me, and it's really awesome that that the universe brought someone local and just amazing and who believes in me. It's like this, when you got to have people that believe in you on your team, you know, and you got to be able to grow with them and call them your family. And so like I'm really lucky that I have some great people in my corner, people who aren't even in the music industry, you feel me, but have great advice and like have my best interests at heart. And that is key. That is so key being in this industry.
For sure. And which also led you to be able to, because you have your own look and you've been so great at your branding, you've been able to come out with your own things, your own merch. So we have this here, sashamarie.co. Do you want to talk about how this came about and in terms of just, you know, actually coming out with your own merch?
Yeah, so last year in December, I dropped my first merch release, and that was also with Tin High Design. So he did these designs. We worked on them together. And again, it was my first drop, and it went really well for me. I've always wanted to work on merchandise, and it's something that I'm kind of leaning towards right now, especially during COVID and not being able to DJ. I've been working on more things that I can't wait to share with my designer. And yeah, it was a beautiful experience, an expensive experience, but it also there was also a lot of benefits to it, and I really got to learn the in and outs of what it means to really invest in yourself without anyone investing in you, and you taking it out of your own pocket but still being able to create something magical. Yeah, and it's something that I plan on doing more. I think it took me a long time to make merch. I've been DJing for a long time, and it took me a super long time, but whenever you're ready, whenever you're able to, you know, and everyone that I worked with on this was all local as well. So
amazing. It speaks for itself. Your visual curation, I love, and then, you know, obviously your sounds as well. That candle is really, really dope. Is this stuff still available, or are you coming out with a new line sometime soon?
All of that stuff sold out, so it's not available. But I am coming. I am coming out with some new things very, very soon. I've been working very hard on, so I'm excited for that.
No, that's super exciting, and I love that you're sharing the experience of you know, investing in yourself, and especially the merch, because that really isn't easy. You know, what were, if there is a takeaway that you wanted to give in terms of doing that, is there something you can share with our audience today?
Make sure it's something that you would purchase for sure. That's like the biggest takeaway. Like, does it look good to you? Would you wear it? You know? That's my biggest takeaway. And does it make you happy? You know, does it bring you joy?
No, that's a great one. I know I asked my question, but we are now at the portion of our chat where we are opening up the Q&A. So please don't be shy, everybody, or if you want to just say hello to Sasha yourself, please feel free, type a 1 in the chat or hit the raise your hand. Oh, there we go. Sammy Sagoon, he's ready. So Sammy, go ahead and unmute yourself and please say hello to Sasha.
What's up? How's it going? First
Hi.
of all, I just want to say big fan. When I first started DJing like 3 years ago, your current mood mix and the airplane mode mix, those were like, I was banging those so hard, and I still do right now.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and earlier you were talking about how like when you make mixes, you kind of try to like tell a story with it. Can you talk a little bit about what's your process when you make mixes and choosing songs and all that?
Yeah. Well, I scour SoundCloud and Spotify and YouTube and even Pandora sometimes, and I round up all the songs that I can possibly find that speak to me. I put them in a playlist, and I just kind of sit with them, and I listen to all of them, and then I just kind of pair them up, and then I use Tractor to make my mixes, and then I just kind of load them up into Tractor and see which ones blend with one another. And even if they don't blend, I'll play the whole track through and then play the next track. I feel like it's kind of difficult to speak on my process in a way because it feels so internal. So like most times if I'm like in a really upbeat mood and I want to hear something upbeat, then usually like a whole mix will be upbeat. If I'm like in a sentimental mood or something like that, my mix will be very mellow. And it honestly just depends on the mood that I'm in. I used to try to keep the genres like the same throughout my mixes, but I don't always feel the same all the time. Like I'm happy one minute and I'm sad, or I'm upset the next minute, or I just feel an array of emotions, and then I just kind of like pick all this music that I love and I just put it together. I hope that's helpful. I think for me, it's just play the music that you love, really, and that speaks to you in this particular moment in time.
Thank you for that. Thank you for the question, Sammy. Thank you for that, Sasha. We have Jordan. You are up next. Welcome back, Jordan. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you. Hey, Sasha. It
I
is so
all your faces, by the way, right now.
I've like chatted it up with you on Instagram just a little bit every once in a while, and I love your work. First off, me and my friends get down to Tunnel Vision whenever we can, so I really appreciate that. My question for you was like, how do you get inspired in these like really draining times? And just like, what do you do to replenish your creativity? I feel like my well is dry right now.
I understand. During these times, it's definitely been difficult. I still feel like I'm figuring out how I'm feeling, and everything is the unknown and it's so uncertain. Honestly, I think the times where I feel the happiest right now is when I'm safely around the people that I love. You know, like I've been able to integrate people that have been social distancing into my life and vice versa. And we've been doing like these social distance picnics, and just seeing these people who are my friends, who are also my family, just uplifts me. That's how I feel grounded. Being in nature, taking a walk, that makes me feel better. I stayed inside for a long time, as I'm sure a lot of us have, but it's really helpful to get out. I think that's a good question, because I'm just like, I feel like I have had a lot of off days, but when I look at, okay, just to backtrack here and like give you guys a story. So at the beginning of COVID, my house flooded. So I had been out of my house. I've been out of my house for the last 4 months. I've been staying with my partner. So I had just been working on my house for these like past 4 months, and just going on top of everything going on as well. And it was just like a super long process. And I just moved back in like a couple weeks ago. So just being able to make my space my own, like Jordan, your space looks so pretty from what I could see in this tiny box. Like just
my parents' house is really not my space.
but just any greenery, just anywhere that you're at, I try to like beautify it, if that makes sense. I hope that helps. It's the little things that I feel that make me happy, and definitely it's being around the people that I love that sparks inspiration in me. And then I'm always constantly looking for music too. And whenever I hear a good song, I'm just like, ooh, like, where can I go? What can I do with this? I can add this to my radio show. So yeah, I hope that helps. I feel like I don't have a lot of great tips for.
No, you definitely helped. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Jordan. I love your hair, by the way. Good to see you again. Thank you for the question. We actually have London up next. London, you mind placing yourself on unmute, please, and meet Sasha.
Welcome back, London.
Hi.
Hi, London.
Hey, I had to turn my camera on for this one. Hi. I just want to say, Sasha, I'm like a major fan, as everyone else is on this call, but I just want to say that seeing you DJ really inspired me, because it's not many girl DJs or DJs period that have like the same music taste as me. Like some of your mixes, I'm like, Oh my God, I just discovered that song this week too. But having, you have such a good music taste with your Eric. Appreciate you, and it's so nice to see someone like me in a DJ space, like succeeding well. So I have two questions.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And one is, what are you most proud of with your DJing? And then, yeah, of course. And two, what's your favorite Billie Holiday song?
Ooh.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. It was a little, it broke up a little bit, but I got the question. So you asked what am I most proud of in terms of like with DJing or just like in my career?
Yes.
Of my mixes.
With both, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it would be my radio show. I think I'm most proud of that. I'm really proud of people, I'm really proud of the people that I've played with in the past and like amazing artists, but I think I'm more proud that I took the step to start something that I wanted to start a long time ago that I feel like is going somewhere that I want it to go, long term. So I'm very, very proud of that. I'm very, very proud of the work that I'm doing with my designer. All of that stuff is just like really fueling me during these times and keeping me busy. And my favorite Billie Holiday song that is really hard, it's gonna be I'll Be Seeing You. Because that song is just like so beautiful and I swear it makes me cry all the time. I think of my dad a lot when I listen to that song. So yeah, that's my favorite song. I like All of Me Too. I like Pennies from Heaven. I love Billie Holiday. She's the best.
Thank you so much for that, London. Welcome back. Did you want to say anything else before I moved on to the next person? Or are you good? Good. Oh, you're on mute. I'm sorry.
I said I'm good. I'm just looking forward to the next radio show.
Woo. Yes, thank you so much, London.
Thank you, London. Our next question is from Kayla. Kayla, if you please go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, Sasha. I'm a huge fan like everyone else. I literally listened to Current Mood like 2 hours ago. Oh. And I even forgot this was happening. Like it just happened actually. But besides the point, we know that you're a dope DJ. You know what you're doing. But you're a woman in the industry. And we all know that as women, like our effort and our work gets brushed to the side. And I'm pretty sure there are fans who are like, I'd rather be listening to Joe K or Andre Power or something. And have you ever felt that? And if you did, how do you overcome that?
That's real. You're right about everything that you said, first off. And I'm trying to find the words to answer that. I've always felt uplifted by my team, but I also understand that the people that book us, outside of selection, tend to overlook the women in selection. And that's hard, but I feel like I've always kind of kept this mentality that I've created my own lane for myself. And me pairing up with other women in my life, like how I do with Have a Nice Day and one-off events, that's only pushing my agenda for the women around me who are starting off, or the women who are DJing and in the industry, to be seen and heard more. So I branched off from, like Sammy was saying, I took my platform from selection and I transferred it into something that I had more control over. With Have a Nice Day, every guest DJ has been a woman, So for me, it's not like a personal thing within my group of people, within my group. It's more so outside of that. You feel me? So I just keep like paving the way for myself, really. I don't know if that is helpful, but I think also, to be honest with you, is that I'm still kind of figuring that out as well right now. And I really felt like this year was gonna pop off for me in different ways. And just like I'm sure a lot of people did, and then it just kind of slowed down. So I think that your question is something that I'm still exploring. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your question, Kayla, and for being here today. Thank you. We have one last question from Gabriella. Go ahead and then put yourself on unmute. Gabriella, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much. As everyone says, Sasha is a huge fan. Dang. You know, honestly, like I've been a fan for a while. Like it's just crazy. You can really tell like somebody's being really authentic in the way that they present themselves and their craft, and that is definitely something that sets you apart for me. So I just want to express my appreciation for that.
Thank you.
And so I just recently just started. I've been digging for years, like playlists for days on SoundCloud, and I was just like, what am I doing with all this music? So I started mixing, and it's kind of taken off within my own circle of people, and I'm really excited about it. And now I just can't stop. So I want to know, like, you know, as somebody that also struggles with self-doubt and anxiety and doesn't know much about the field, like, how did you handle like networking? How did you handle like just those moments of self-doubt or not knowing where to turn to take the next step?
Yeah, I never really changed. The self-doubt never really changed, and neither did the anxiety, but I just kept moving forward. And I was really lucky. Like, you know, if this is popping off within your friends, like these are the circle of friends who are going to like really be supporting you throughout your journey. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, stick with these people and keep moving forward regardless of the fear. And if you have good intentions and like you are so passionate about this, like it really will lead you into the direction that you want to go. And regardless of all the fear and anxiety that you feel inside of yourself, know that it doesn't make you any less than someone that you may see out there like gigging and doing all these things. It really doesn't. In fact, it really adds character, it adds power, it adds a different type of element to what you do because you're coming from a different place. And yeah, just be yourself. Like, as cliche as that sounds, I felt like I just couldn't be anybody than who I was, you know, be anybody else than who I was. And just put yourself out there in the little ways that you can, you know, with SoundCloud, with Mixcloud, with Instagram, with Twitter. Just you got to just put yourself out there.
Thank you. See, like that's exactly like why people like love you so much too. And so like now when you say it out loud and you can talk about it with people, it's like, oh yeah, like that's exactly what I should be doing. You're right. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna tell you, like, don't doubt yourself, but you're gonna doubt yourself. I literally doubt myself every day. But you're deserving of success. You're deserving of following your passion. You're deserving of meeting your goals, and you're worthy. So just like keep doing you, and I really truly believe that you will be good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gabriella. And Sasha, that was a great answer. Gabriella, where are you? Thanks for tuning in. I'm assuming this is your sound chat. Where are you tuning in from?
New Orleans.
Oh,
nice. Yeah.
That's really exciting. I love New Orleans. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Just know that Ladies of Sound is a platform for girls just like you. You know, if you feel like you need any advice, and obviously it worked out today for you, but if there's anything that we can do, you're always welcome to come through. Luckily, because of this COVID thing, we are doing everything online. So we have some other girls in here that are from Nashville and stuff like that. So thank you so much.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, thank you to everyone in the chat who's coming from, different places to tune in. Yeah, Stephanie. So thank you so much. Sasha, we have all your information here. If you guys want to get in touch with her, check her website out, her Instagram, her Twitter, her SoundCloud. We have that all here for you guys today. And we wanted to get into, real quick before we leave, our Sisterhood Spotlight. So Marisol, do you want to talk about what our Sisterhood Spotlight is?
Yeah, so our sisterhood spotlight was, obviously this whole chat was inspired because of COVID, but also, there was a lot of pivoting that DJs had to do, whether it was merch or, lo and behold, we're all multifaceted, right? And I would see, DJs from like Bella Fiasco and Damo getting into artwork and things like that. So, for us, we felt like, we wanted to spread the word of just how many amazing women were in our community, whether they were DJs or artists or both, or yoga teachers and things like that. So for today, our nominated Sisterhood Spotlight is Marie. So you want to go take it from here, Sam?
Yeah, so these are the other two women who run Have a Nice Day with Sasha. Sasha actually nominated them for our Sisterhood Spotlight. So we have Lou here, and we also have V. So they all work. I actually put these, so that photo in the top left was their recent live stream on Twitch. So they did that, but what's dope is all three of them, they'll do these crazy productions. And so you see that photo with like the screen, and that's actually V down there, pioneering everything. And she's a cinematographer, a video editor. Lou is also a DJ. V is also a DJ. So you guys are such dope women. Sasha, I don't know if you want to say anything, but yeah, they're our homegirls.
They're the best. They're who I do have a nice day with. They're so incredibly talented and just amazing human beings. Shout out to V and her partner Valeria for doing our most recent live streams, and also Paul was involved in the first one as well. So yeah, you guys gotta check out these girls because they're so talented, and on top of that, they're good humans, and I'm really excited to see where their careers take them. And yeah, these are my sisters, and
we're in the chat right now. So hey guys, thank you guys for coming in. And yes, if you guys want to anybody, if you guys want to drop in your handles down there so we could all follow each other, we could do that too. So thank you for that, for nominating. And then we also do live stream listens. Marisol?
Yes, our live stream listens. We know that everybody's also sharing their live streams or new mixes and stuff that comes out. So for today, I'm going to say here, Sammy G, if y'all didn't find her on SoundCloud, DJ Sammy-G, please look that up. She did this remix birthday mixtape. Sorry, I can't really read my screen right now, but please check that out. Check out Sammy G's mix there on SoundCloud. And then as you guys know, on Twitch for Prism DJs, DJ Tessa, the co-founder, put this lovely live stream together with some amazing women. You guys know, I think Tone's in there, and Ola, which we had both of them on our community chat. So please go ahead and check that out. Analyze, Tessa herself, a lot of amazing women to support a good cause. And of course, you guys want to go on SoundCloud, which I'm sure all of you have, but please check out Sasha Marie Radio. I believe her next chapter just came out, so please check that out. And that's usually what our live stream listens are. Again, guys, if you want to submit your own so we can share that with our community, please do. You can hit us up via DM or on our website. But before we get going, guys, thank you to everyone that's come here today. We would love for you guys to drop your Instagram handles in the chat. Please all follow each other. Please stay in touch. As a community of women, the DJ pool of women, it's very small. So, we're hoping to connect everyone from around the world so that we feel supported in every kind of way, and want to also introduce each other as well. So please go ahead and drop your handles. Awesome. Thank you, guys. And then lastly, this coming Thursday, so we're closing out our Artist Wellness Series for the month of July. This is actually our personal, Sam and I's personal performance coach that we work with. We've been working with her for about an entire year, and honestly, without her, we would not have been going this long with our community chats and just building the community in the way that we have. So she's actually going to do a special episode for us this coming Thursday, and everybody is invited. I would highly recommend. You know, she works on mindset, you know, and it's done wonders for us in our business. So if that's something you're also looking to improve on, please join us on Thursday, because again, she's just given us so many gems in terms of our mindset and how to move in all facets of everything that we do. And, you know, it's leading with love and leading with clarity. So she's going to be here on Thursday for that at 6 p.m. You know, lastly on that, you guys already know, you know, supporting Ladies of Sound means supporting the community. So please go ahead and check out our website. We have all of our past guests and recaps. You're going to be able to see Sasha's coming up, and you know, hopefully within next week. And then we also send out a newsletter as well with a recap on that. But again, thank you everyone for being here. Sasha, thank you so much for donating your time and just, you know, giving all these amazing gems, and ultimately like just being yourself, and going for you know, going for it no matter how you're feeling, whether you're feeling like crap or you're feeling happy. I love that you know, you go with your heart and you follow that for sure. If you want to go ahead and say bye to everybody here, please do.
Yes, thank you guys, Ladies of Sound. This was so amazing and therapeutic, and I really appreciate you guys, and you guys are doing such wonderful things. And thank you to everyone who tuned in and listened to me and asked me questions. I'm sending you guys love. Like, we're gonna get through this, and thank you so much. We got this. Let's keep moving forward.
Woo, thank you guys so much. We hope to see you all on Thursday. And like we said, we'll have these recaps for you. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you later.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sasha. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.